It's been about 20 years since Ewan McGregor made the decision of where he wanted to go with his life in Trainspotting, and 20 years later we come back to him, and where do we end up? With a sequel that's just as great? No, not really, but it still manages to find enough cool stuff for the original characters to do in T2 Trainspotting, which I'm sure most people are now going to make jokes about it, comparing it to Terminator 2 with the T2 and all that, so there you go. This sequel is, for Danny Boyle returning to Trainspotting after 20 years, it's not too shabby. It's still got some of that visual edge, it's still got a lot of that grit, it's got this wildness to it, it has its dark moments, it has its funny moments, it has its very surreal and emotional moments and nostalgic moments and drug trips and psychedelic aspects to it, and it's all kinds of wild and crazy. The only problem is, I think it keeps building with all these characters, and then it kind of just sort of ends without much of a recollection. I think the movie kind of hits its high point when Ewan McGregor starts going into his choose life rant, where he starts going on about how, choose different stuff, choose to go on social media, choose to share all this crap, choose to believe in conspiracy theories, and choose to believe in all this crazy stuff because it's all going to be meaningless, and choose to believe that the Holocaust was not real, and then he just sort of peters out and goes, anyway. And then the movie just kind of proceeds from there. I don't think the film reaches sort of like any huge cultural meaning, kind of the way that the first Trainspotting movie ended, which is kind of depressing. It kind of, most of the second act wallows in sort of the nostalgic glee of what happened in the previous film and how these characters have grown since then. What I do like about this, though, is that the movie acknowledges that it's being nostalgic, because there are many scenes where they go back to clips from the first film, and even try to reenact certain parts from the first film, like when Ewan McGregor gets on the Carva hood and starts laughing about it, and other times when he's running from like Robert Carlyle, which, by the way, Robert Carlyle, seeing him a little bit fatter with a mustache and trying to take Viagra so that it can be more sexually competent, it's pretty funny. It's not a bad sequel. I'd say, yeah, if you're a big fan of the first Trainspotting movie, yeah, you're gonna like this movie. I don't think there's anything here that transcends the original, again, like what sequel can, especially a sequel that comes back after 20 years, but it's not too shabby. So I'm gonna have to give it 3 stars.